Hi there everyone, it's Scott here from Rebel Saber Systems, and this is Flash Driver V1. I apologise profusely for the delays in getting these out. I really won't go into it, it's really trivial. But finally I'm done. I have all the batch here, which you will see in pictures. This is the first one I built, so it's got my only clash sensor at the moment in it. Yeah, so just to give you a look at the board. This video is going to serve as a kind of pseudo manual until I get the actual manual written out. And yeah, so this is a board with a clash sensor attached to the top clash sensor. Yeah. So this is kind of what they're going to look like. Just to give a comparison, this is the new architecture, and obviously you can see there's the SMD components. I've reduced the actual size of the board pretty greatly. Just to give you a look. Here's a comparison. This is the prototype. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of difference between them. So yeah, that's how different it is. The new dimensions of V1 are 18 by 22 millimeters, or 0.7 inches by 0.85 inches, whereas the prototype was 1 inch by 1 inch. So yeah, you can see this is the new PCB. It has a nice green solder mask on it instead of that yellow color. You can see there's silkscreen labeling on all of the pads, and yes, you can solder in the holes on this one. So yeah, the new board's all SMD except the chip. The chip is still the same. I'm still working on getting a good SMD version of the chip. And obviously as SMD, I did reflow some of them. I did do some reflow soldering, but also some of them are done by hand. All of the chips were done by hand. So my reflow paste is actually lead free. So you may see some joints are shiny and some joints aren't, because the lead free paste doesn't give any shiny joints. So don't be alarmed, there's no like cold joints or anything. I've tested all of them, they all work. So you shouldn't have any problems with these ones. Yeah, so you may just have a mix of shiny joints and dull joints, but that's not a problem. And I did test them all. So sometimes you may not see a lot of paste there, but the components are, they will stay in place nicely. It can really give them a good tug and they won't come off. So that's not a problem. Just in case it looks like there isn't a lot of solder on the pads. Okay, so just to have a look at the pads, I'm going to take this one and put a blank one without a sensor on it. So you can see all of the pads are nicely labelled, including the place for the clash sensor. I'm just going to lift this up so you can see better. Ooh, focus. Okay, so you can see we have the battery pads up here, battery plus, battery minus, and the LED out. You can't really see the plus there, but yeah, the plus and the minus. So all the pads are labelled this time. There's some nice labelling, and then you can see where the clash sensors go. This is the one on top, so you can see there, on the bottom. Now the top set of clash sensor pads, these are connected to the flash driver clash in. So those are the pads that you want to install a clash sensor into if you want for the actual flash on clash. Now why there are a second set of pads, I'll show you. You can see that they're connected directly just to these pads down here. And there's a reason for that, is so you can get very good synchronization. So you have a clash sensor on top, a clash sensor on the bottom, one's connected to the flash driver and one's connected to these pads, and you solder those pads to the clash inputs on your economy board, your FX board, your Petit Crouton, and you can have very, very good synchronized clashes between the two sensors because they're on the same board, they're receiving the same vibrations. So that's what those pads are for. Now you see there's also these under the LED out pads. You see there's also these two holes. These pads I actually couldn't fit to have on both sides as the rest of the ones are, but they're down here, and there's just a tiny bit of copper just to keep them from tearing out on top. So you can't solder to that, it's physically impossible, but you can solder to this side. Put those holes in so you can have wires going through. The reason that there aren't holes in the clash out pads is because there are components on top. But those pads are actually connected to the FD clash pads, so you can have a switch wired to those as an aux switch. To activate your lockup and activate just a flash. So if you hold it down, you'll keep the flash on clash going. They won't set off your clash out because they're not connected to that. Only a clash will set off your clash out, but you can set off the actual flash on clash with the LED with those pads. And I did that so as not to have wires going to these thin wires on your clash sensor and trying to wire to those pads. So I put in an extra set of pads to solder to in the event that you want an aux switch. So yeah, that's pretty much V1. It worked. The actual operation I would show you with an LED, but it's pretty much the same operation as the prototypes. They work exactly the same way. In essence, it's the same circuit. So there's really not much else to show you that hasn't been shown in the previous videos. It works the same. Nevertheless, I'll answer any questions you put to me. You can either post them in the comments of this video, or you can email me at rebelsystems@hotmail.com. But obviously, don't ask me if you can purchase one. All sales information and sales will go through the FX Sabres forums. There's also a Facebook page for Rebel Sabre Systems. If you click on the FD right now, you can go to that Facebook page. So yeah, that's Flash Driver V1. They all work. I've tested this batch. They should be going out as soon as you confirm your details. I'll try and get them out as quickly as possible for those who are still on the list for those. And yeah, again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Yeah, thanks guys. It's Flash Driver V1.